Sofia tonight. Remember, the Reds 3-1 up from the first leg. No Steven Gerrard injured, no Jamie Carragher either. He's rested. Morientes and Djibril Cissé start up front. As you saw, no Barros this evening. In fact, Liverpool, who beat Milan in May, have flogged Milan in August to Aston Villa today. But all the talk here is not about who's gone, but who's coming. It's a year since Michael Owen dressed in red. He hasn't had too many chances to wear a white shirt in the interim. So could a comeback to Liverpool be on the cards for Michael? Well, if you ask the fans here, definitely. But it's this man's view that counts. Rafael Benitez is with Gabriel Clark.
You've sold Milan Baros today. What are the chances of Michael Owen coming? Do you want Michael Owen here?
I'm talking about the Champions League games or players.
That's something that the fans are very keen on knowing about, though, as well, Rafa, is Michael Owen, the possibility of that. I know you have your transfer priorities as well.
We have 5 strikers now, not 6, and we need a centre-back and a right winger, no another striker.
Are you any closer to a centre-back and a right winger?
We have some options, but you never know, because when Liverpool is involved, then the price increases, and we don't know in this moment.
But you've got some spending to do, and it might or it might not include Michael Owen.
We have some money, but only for a centre-back and a right winger.
This is Anfield, Liverpool 90 minutes away from the group stage of the Champions League. The thoughts of Robbie Earle and Ali McCoist at half-time, but your commentators this evening, Andy Townsend and Peter Drury.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening all. And here we go with the last of half a dozen games, which, depending upon your perspective, it was either demeaning to demand of the European champions or generous to allow them. Uniquely for Liverpool, 2 European nights this week of separate types and moods across which to spread their resources. Either way, Andy Townsend, Liverpool are nearly there in Champions League terms, so tonight presumably is just a disciplined, common sense night.
Yeah, absolutely right, Peter. There'll be the sort of reminders that Rafa Benitez was giving to the players: concentration, attitude, make sure it's right, have a good tempo about the game, and a nice opportunity for 1 or 2 of the fringe players like Hosemi back in the frame tonight, and a couple of youngsters, left back Stephen Uornък and Darren Potter on the right, to maybe just give the manager a gentle reminder what they can do.
Seeing the Liverpool side go through the bottom of your screen there, we outlined the headlines from it. Obviously the Barros issue is now dead, but the Owen issue is still at least a live rumour. Cissé and Morientes are the strikers this evening. No Gerrard. 5 changes from the game in Sofia, including the goalkeeper. CSKA, unsurprisingly, also have made a change in their goal. They have their first choice centre-half Iliev back from suspension, and Yurakov in for the injured Yanev, their playmaker. Let's get the arithmetic of the evening right, as I'm sure Rafa Benitez will certainly have done, between dealing with those many rumours he has to cope with. CSKA Sofia need 3 goals if they're to go through. It is 20 months since any visiting team scored 3 goals at Anfield. Last season, only 3 teams scored 3 goals against Liverpool anywhere. They were Arsenal at Highbury. There was Zardi going in. It's well dealt with by Hosemi, filling in at centre-half this evening. They were Arsenal at Highbury, Chelsea in the League Cup final, and of course Milan in Istanbul, who ultimately lost the game anyway.
Yeah, so that was a good early ball through to Zardi then. I'm not sure exactly how much Hosemi knew about that. It seemed to have hit him on the back of the head almost, but that's what they need to be careful of. That's that communication. I mean, the partnership obviously normally with Jamie Carragher and Sami Hüpia, no problem at all. Another different player in there tonight, Hosemi. Slightly unfamiliar position for him, so we need to be nice and sharp and lively and aware.
Awareness will count a lot for him. He doesn't look like a centre-half. He's only 5'9". Here there is Riyse raiding for Liverpool with Cissé in the middle and Morientes waiting, and it's the Moroccan Hidwa who got back with an important intervention. He was the man who made them tick in the first leg to the extent that they did. Covering midfield player, and covering there against the incision of John Arne Riyse, who's won a corner, over for which young Darren Potter has come. With bleached Hüpia near the penalty spot. Cissé in the 6-yard box. Potter has hit it onto the roof of the net. These are important nights for the likes of him. He is only 20 years old, Irish under-21 international. And with the talk of a right-sided midfield player, Andy, you know, he's very much on the agenda.
Absolutely, it's a good opportunity for him. He just needs to hopefully improve his delivery, and like we just saw there, that corner, that's a bit of a wasted situation. But when he gets the ball, look confident, be prepared to get at the fullback when he can, try and make something happen. Do his job defensively, just be nice and sensible in the opening stages of the game.
Steve Uornъk here at left-back is one who's got a lot of early season praise from his manager. And almost falls into a new category now. He's looking comfortable in the first 11. He did have outings in the Champions League last year and blew hot and cold, had good nights and an occasional shaky one.
It's a decent ball knocked forward there though, Peter, from him. I've been impressed with him, Steve Uornъk, when I've seen him playing. Nice and cool and composed on the ball. Not really seen anybody get at him, not been tested that much defensively. Certainly in possession, as you see there, with the outside of the boot, very comfortable.
Finian for Potър. Closed down by the Brazilian left full-back, Thiago Silva. Now Finian again, coming away from the first leg goal scorer for CSKA, Dimitrov. Forward by Hosemi, Potър was onside. The clearance was a hesitant one from Guy. And here is Stevie Finian. Ended at Cisse, away by Iliev. Swept up by Harman, and then lashed away by Radoslav Zabavnik. Slovakian who played at centre-half in the first game but moves to his regular position of right-back tonight. Gargarov. Zadi. By Todorov. Taken up by Hidwa. Moving away to Rийзе. A tackle from Zabavnik. Harman snapped in, but it came again to Hidwa, who's hit it early for Zadi, and Hosemi has covered again really well. He's reading it nicely.
Yeah, and that's a lot better defending. He watched that one all the way, tracked the run of Zadi and dealt with it. They've got to get the balance right tonight, Sofia, Peter. Obviously they've got to be aggressive the way they commit people forward, but the first goal in this game tonight is absolutely crucial. From a Liverpool perspective, if they get it, they're pretty much home and dry. Obviously Sofia will be thinking if they can nick the first goal, then they can make a real fist of it.
Hüpia. A new man in goal for CSKA tonight, as I was mentioning, Dejan Maksic for Serbia and Montenegro. Hamaruk, the Moldovan who kept goal in the first leg, had a pretty unfortunate evening. Since then, to his further detriment, he's fallen out with the boss. And so the glamour trip to Liverpool took place without him on the plane. Hidwa. Smashing ball for Gargarov. Put out of harm's way by Uornъk. Always a certain solidity about Liverpool when Harman is sitting in front of their back four. The unsung hero of the Champions League final. A half-time substitute who did for Kaka. Here's Potъr. And into Todorov. Well, Dimitrov let it roll, and Rийзе has rolled it through here for Cisse, who's onside Jibril Cisse, and Maksic has done terrifically well to come out and smother.
Did everything right as well. Jibril Cisse just couldn't quite dink it over the goalkeeper. Sloppy play in the middle of the park from Sofia allows Rийze to play that first time exactly what Cisse wants. Evades the tackle, just needed to try and dink that over the goalkeeper. We'll credit him, he does well in the end to smother it.
No right wing for Jibril Cisse tonight, very much inside left. He's as much a topic of conversation for Liverpool fans as anyone else in the starting 11 tonight.
He's been sharp and lively, Peter, when he's played this season, Jibril Cisse. He couldn't have done a lot more when he's had the nod. I think he is going to be a little bit hit and miss, a little bit up and down at times. He's that sort of player, but when he's on his game, he's a real threat and a real nuisance.
Rийze. Away from Gargarov, the visiting captain. With a hefty clearance. Iliev away from Cisse. Morientes sharply onto it. Cisse available to him. Jibril Cisse again for Liverpool. Never the right shape about the shot.
He wasn't really aware either of Morientes and made a cute little run there just across the front of him. But certainly Cisse in the earlier chance there, running onto that ball from Rийze. There he can just maybe dink that over him rather than just trying to guide it past him. It's good movement. That is when he's at his best. Not so much when he's trying to link up with other players, but when he runs off the back of the centre half, he is a danger man.
Zadi won his header, but then Hüpia won his. Sisoko. Potъr. Cisse wants it early. Cisse has it early, but just too snappily.
Unlucky. The right idea from Potter, and he had to hit it with a bit of pace on it for it to get there.
It's an important time for Djibril Cisse, not just in club terms but internationally as well. He got another cap for France last week as a very late substitute for Thierry Henry against the Ivory Coast in Montpellier. He just might find a place in the French 23 for next summer in Germany. Talking of which, here is Haman. Uornък. Rийze. Nice left-sided exchange, then Rийze hitting one deep for Potър. And Potъr nodding it down for Morientes. It's well read by Guy emerging from centre-half. And it breaks off Dimitrov for Zadi. It's an excellent tackle from Hosemi, who's equipping himself really well at centre-back.
Tell you what, that was unlucky, Peter. And the referee had a good view of that. He didn't see it as handball. It was a lovely, sweet move from Liverpool.
Zabavnik, Gargarov, Dimitrov stumbled. Helped on his way by Didi Hamann, who will communicate well with the officials tonight. They all come from Germany. Wolfgang Stark is the referee. Young man, still only 35. He has been on this ground before. Last time he visited, Michael Owen scored the winning goal in UEFA Cup tie against Vitesse Arnhem a year or two back. Jordan Yurukov with CSKA's free kick. Karsăn with a safe enough take. Turns 20 at the beginning of next week, Scott Karsăn. Got a chance against Kaunas in the last round in similar circumstances. Cisse out for Sisoko. Now Morientes!
Two centre-halves for Sofia haven't got to grips with Cisse at all in this opening 10-minute spell. I mean, he's just peeling off of one of them every time. There he is again there, finding space. This time Morientes deciding to have a pop himself. Nothing wrong with that. But already they're looking good, the two Liverpool strikers.
There is an ongoing sense in this city of a question being eternally asked: when will Morientes actually explode?
Yeah.
He seems perpetually to be on the edge of it.
Yeah, he does, Peter. You're right. It was interesting here, Rafa Benitez talking before the game about the Michael Owen scenario. I think if he does spend the money on that right-sided midfielder and a centre-half, then maybe they'll have to accept the fact that Michael Owen might not come. If he doesn't go and buy people in those positions, then there may be questions asked if Cisse and Morientes don't come up with the goals.
Played the first half of Spain's international against Uruguay last week. It's going to be a busy season for all of these Liverpool players, which is why Benitez has to balance his squad properly. Potъr. Sisoko. Hosemi, who played all 6 games in the group stages last year before picking up his knee injury in the middle of December. Hüpia's gone early for Cisse again. Guy looked none too convincing. Thiago Silva helped him out. Zadi. Hidwa. Todorov. A smashing tackle from Sisoko. But Todorov has it back. Hidwa. Zabavnik from Slovakia, exchanging with Gargarov. Squeaking away from Rийze and going over Rийze, and then being told to get up.
Oh, I tell you what, I think it was unlucky, Peter. Some very useful play there from Sofia. Kept it, probed, eventually got in behind. I think unlucky not to get the free kick.
Gargarov, Todorov, Hidwa. Held in for Gargarov, away from Hüpia a bit. You can see here that, as they proved in the first leg, Sofia are nobody's mugs. They look a shade vulnerable at the back, but when they have the football, they use it nicely.
Certainly do.
Rийze. Swung adventurously towards Potъr, who will be there first. Fullback aimed at Morientes. Seen off by Todorov.
And Hosemi recognising straight away that if Zadi's allowed to get the ball and turn and run at him, it might give him a problem or two. Every time he receives the ball, the centre forward, Hosemi is right up his backside dealing with it.
Sisoko. Haman. Cisse. Morientes. Important touch from Guy, but a touch of Morientes' shin as well as the football. And, Liverpool have a free kick, which under normal circumstances would invite Stevie Gerrard into the piece. In his absence, there'll be a fresher cue. It wasn't a very clever challenge.
No, it certainly wasn't. He may have had a slight advantage if the referee had allowed it to go to just another few seconds. Rийze on the left-hand side here, but nonetheless, good shooting position for someone like Haman or Rийze himself. They can both ping a useful ball.
So Haman over the ball. Finian up from full-back. Rýze's left boot would seem to suit the precise geography of the situation. And Rýze will hit it, purely enough, but into the last brick of the wall. Hüpia. Uornък. Beyond Morientes. Potъr was looking to try and keep it in, but failed so to do. Liverpool have never lost a two-legged European tie, in which they won the first leg away from home. But English football fans won't need too much reminding that such an accident did befall Newcastle at this stage of this competition a couple of years ago. Alberto Solano had given them a 1-0 win in Belgrade, but Partizan did the business at St James's. Accidents can happen, and Gargarov is intent that one might happen here. And he's pulled it back towards Zardi, and Sisoko has had to tidy up. Here's Zabavnik. And Sisoko's gone in again and taken as much player as ball.
Well, the long legs there, I think initially may have just caught Zabavnik. You can see he's just evaded Uornък there. You think that Sisoko's going to gets a little bit on it, but then sort of just clips the player, ends up getting the ball. I think that's a decent decision from the referee.
Yurakov. Oh, terrific goal! That is a first-rate strike from Valentin Iliev. Accidents do happen, and Liverpool have a minor problem here.
Well, they've slept in, Peter, there. I mean, they're probably expecting Iliev to go into the box to get on the end of a cross. There's a lot of red shirts back there. Scott Karsăn looks on pretty bemused by it all. There's no way anyone should be able to walk on the end of a ball like that. It's a great finish. That is a really good controlled finish. But it's far too easy. Far too easy, and the goalkeeper can do nothing about it. Very, very good finish. He could have lashed that anywhere. He's controlled that, and he has bent that perfectly in the corner. Now we do have a game on our hands.
Well, we do. A game that really Liverpool supporters would rather not have had. It's all very well to inject a degree of excitement into the occasion, but they would have hoped to have lived tonight in the comfort zone. No longer is it comfortable. A reminder that Sofia do need 3 goals. 2 wouldn't be enough because of Liverpool having got 3 away from home. And so, after a quarter of an hour, leaves 75 minutes to get 2 more. Hosemi hit it long. Rýze rose.
And Liverpool haven't started the game badly, Peter. It's not as if they've been really poor. They've had opportunities themselves. But we've got a couple of reminders that the opposition here tonight, they can play a bit given the opportunity.
Over the top, and now Iliev back in his natural habitat, within touch of the goalkeeper. Send it back, and what an uplifting moment for Miodrag Jesic, the coach who seemed, I must say, when I met him last night, rather resigned to defeat. He said miracles happen, but not every day. He was involved himself in one of the great European comebacks 21 years ago, which some English football fans will remember. He was a Partizan Belgrade player when they lost 6-2 to QPR in a game played at Highbury, because QPR weren't allowed on their plastic pitch. And then Partizan took them back to Belgrade and beat QPR 4-0. Only 4 times has a 4-goal deficit been overturned in Europe, and he scored the 3rd goal of the second leg, the 5th of 6. So perhaps he can draw on that. Here is Sisoko. Challenge with Sisoko. The Moroccan Hidwa has pulled up lame. There was a doubt about his fitness going into the game. The way he's feeling his lip there suggests that actually it was contact with his face. A strike it was from Iliev.
It was a good goal, Peter. It was. It's a centre-half. You'd have expected him to go up there, but this is actually the speed it happened. Real-time replay, look, bang. You let people drift into the penalty area without getting to them, without shutting it down. There's the reaction from the bench. They know that's a massive, massive goal from this evening. That sloppy defensive play from Liverpool.
He does have an excellent goal-scoring record for a centre-half. Valentin Iliev got 7 goals in Bulgarian domestic football last year. He was suspended for the first leg, having picked up bookings against Tirana in the second round of qualifying. Edouard here picked up an injury for Morocco, playing a friendly against Togo in Rouen in the north of France last week, and was a doubt to start this game. He's almost certainly not going to finish it. So I think he's going to be okay to go on, at least in the short term.
Now you're looking at your experienced players, Peter. You're looking at your Hamans, your Rieses, Sami, Hüpia in particular. Morientes and Cisse, they're top players, experienced players. And they've got to get hold of this situation, start dominating the game and get that ball back, moving it around nice and sharp and nice and crisp like they did in the opening 5 or 10 minutes. Not let this opposition get too confident, because they are of that sort of nature, Bulgarian teams. They get confident, they get up for it, you're in trouble.
Easy with hindsight, but when there are little mishaps like that, I guess even as the most assured manager as Benitez is entitled to be, you sort of wonder whether you wish you had played the first 11 to begin with.
Well, that's the gamble you take. You know he's not one to panic. He won't look flustered, Peter, at all, but he'll be very concerned at the minute.
In for Todorov, and Zardy's onside here, and Karsson's done well, and it came out to Todorov, who might really have panicked the cop. He really should have panicked the cop.
Stephen Warnock's a lucky boy there, because I think he's the man that's played them onside. It's a great ball played through the middle. Look, you can see the hangover from Hosemi. He thinks they should be offside. And the follow-up's unlucky. It's only just drifted over the top. Karssön does well to come out. And another day that could easily have found its way into the back of the net.
Well, an evening that was meant to represent a rather sleepy cruise into the Champions League group stages has turned into a somewhat choppy ride. Finnan's gone long. Iliev away. Todorov. Down by Dimitrov. Long by Thiago Silva. By Hosemi. Uornък. Hamad. Sisoko. It's a good crisp ball for Potър. He's attempted to nick in Fинън. Edouard going back. Todorov ran into Morientes. Sisoko. Potър, Hamad. Cisse spreading it, Zabavnik for touch. Having been settled from the start, are suddenly in need of a settling goal. Now Zardy to run at Hosemi, to play it in for Dimitrov, and now Yurikov. Much too much on it for Gargarov. And it could so easily be worse.
Certainly could. Todorov very unlucky. Great little ball he thread to. Watch at the bottom of the picture, Stephen Uornък. He's just ball watching a little bit. Zardy is definitely onside, and Steve Finnъn at the top of the picture, in all fairness, playing him on as well. I'll tell you what, Todorov on another day, maybe if he'd have even took a touch, he could have hit that with a little bit more pace.
Maybe we ought to give a word as well to Karssön, who, although he was lucky second time round, was very quickly off his line.
Quick. Did very well, Pete.
Potър. Against Thiago Silva, and he's earned Liverpool a corner that they can really do with here. Hüpia to join Morientes by the penalty spot. Sisoko in the 6-yard box. Cisse 6 yards from goal. Just gone deep. My guy. Kept at Liverpool feet by Rийze. Now Hosemi. Finian. Sisoko. Potър. On it for Cisse. Liverpool fans may just be casting a cautious section of their mind back to 12 months less a day when Liverpool brought a 2-goal lead into the Anfield leg of their qualifier against Graz AK, and that night they weren't so very far away from blowing it. They lost on the evening and there were panicky moments towards the end of the game. Here it is happening again. Free kick against Zabavnik.
Important in situations like this now, Petey. Concentrate on that delivery. Deliver that in the right areas. If you're going to have a shot, obviously you get your head down, you make sure you hit the target. Give that man something to handle. Everybody else alive in case he spills it and ready for the following. But if you are putting it into the 6-yard box, give the likes of Hüpia, etc., give them a chance to attack it.
A man for Cisse! Oh, that's a very good gather by the keeper, because there was plenty on that.
Certainly was. That was a hell of a strike from Cisse. He really hit that right out the middle, right off the laces. The goalkeeper does very, very well, Matic, to gather that and hang on to it.
Had every last half ounce of his boot leather on this Djibril Cisse.
Yeah,
this is what the keeper saw.
Absolutely, he does well as well, you can see. On his toes, nice and lively. Almost anticipating that's going to go to his right and hangs on to that very well. Just goes to show them sort of angles. It does come at you pretty rapid, Peter.
Thiago Silva. Haman. Sissoko's putting himself about. He's a long-legged, angular midfield player who likes to tackle, wants to be a nuisance. That is his 6th game in Liverpool red, but he might easily have joined Everton.
He would probably dovetail better with the likes of Alonso and Gerrard, in all fairness to him, Peter. Sissoko, I mean, he's a ball winner. He uses them long legs to get up and down the field, break things up, as you say. And then he needs someone to give it to. Alonso, normally that sort of man.
Potъr. Laman. By Morientes. Out by Guy. In again for Fernando Morientes. And slipped through for Cisse. Well read by Iliev, the goal scorer. Scorer of the goal that has stirred Sofia and rather shaken Liverpool. And here is Dimitrov. And the outlet is Zardi. He had to cover at the near post.
Terrific football again. Really is not a good delivery from Zardi. He owed a better cross to his on-rushing teammates there. There are plenty of black shirts in that box. Liverpool have gone off the boil and they need to sharpen up, liven up all round, pick the tempo up a bit.
That's the man who's made the difference. 25-year-old Valetin Iliev. Spooned high onto the head of Guy. Finian. Potъr. Finian, nice exchange there. And Finnan's cross for Morientes. Out as far as Rийзе. Excellent sliding tackle from Iliev.
It's unlucky. You'd love to have got that on the volley, John Arne Rийze. Just couldn't quite get there. Did well to actually control it and give himself any sort of opportunity. That's good play from Steve Finn down the right-hand side. Excellent little ball flipped in.
By Hosemi, and Rийze is away from his man. John Arne Rийze ran into Iliev.
And that does surprise me, because if ever there's one person you want on that field to have a little bit of space from that sort of angle, how many times have we seen John Arne Rийze fire them in from like that sort of range, that sort of distance? He did the hard part, skipping past the defender. I just think then he's going to pull the trigger. There's no better left foot around to deal with it in this sort of situation. Get it out of your feet and hit it. Instead of that, he's trying to find someone who's not really there.
That's a good point. Just think back to that goal he scored in the first minute of the League Cup final. Slightly different, but then he was hitting an instinctive volley, but it was the same sort of angle, same sort of range, and he didn't think twice. Fitting over the top, Cisse onside, and Zabavnik across.
Lucky, just if he could have stretched a wee bit more, Djibril Cisse, because Zabavnik had played him onside. He would have been in.
Who played for Slovakia in an international against England at the Riverside Middlesbrough a year or two back, game in which Michael Owen scored a couple of goals. And in charge of which, by the way, was tonight's referee. Here is Dimitrov. Worked it with Yurikov, and in for Zardi. And now Yurikov with Gorgorov waiting. Aimed into Dimitrov and out by Hüpia. But Liverpool are stretched more than once, 3-4 times. This is not how it was meant to be.
Getting in behind them, particularly down the flanks, the two fullback here is far too easy. Getting into real dangerous areas here. And with a little bit more care on the cross, Liverpool could well be two down here, Peter.
Sisoko. Haman. Cisse. Potър. They've got studs on it. Sisoko. Dimitrov. Liverpool really could do with a settling goal of their own here, just to reset the equation and make CSKA start from scratch again. Zabavnik. Inside of Uornък, but Todorov halted his run.
Look, they're confident now, they've got real spring in their step. When they're in possession of the ball and they're going forward, they look useful. They really do.
Sisoko. Potър. His ran over it, Sisoko didn't read it. Out comes Todorov. Dimitrov. Guy. Gorgorov. Lifted on towards Zardi. Hosemi's high position. Hosemi did well to keep it from Gorgorov. And now Uornъk. And now Cisse. It was too bright for Iliev then. The referee wasn't having it, but Iliev was obstructing.
Yeah, for me, Peter, he's nutmegged the centre half there perfectly, and then he's trying to run on, and then he was just body checked. At the moment, Djibril Cisse said earlier on he can be a bit unpredictable, but he's the only one at the moment who really looks like he's going to give Liverpool some sort of spark.
Uornъk. Morientes. Cisse. Morientes.
just wondered if for a split second Fernando Morientes just pondered maybe just hitting that on the volley, and then he took it on his chest. Just got crowded out.
Sisoko. Potър. Spooned up for Cisse. Dribble Cisse. Bounce back to Sisoko. Gerrard unfit tonight, probably unfit on Friday, possibly unfit for England against Wales. And after all the goals he got for Rafa Benitez in the early part of Champions League qualifying, a shame for the boss that he can't turn round and find him on the bench. Free kick against Didi Hamann, for whom this is only a third start of this season. His foot was high. Remember, he broke a bone in his foot during the course of the Champions League final. Actually, still scored his penalty.
Just wonder if it stays like this at half-time, Peter. When I spoke about Benitez, he's not one to panic, but we know that he can make brave substitutions. I think back to Istanbul. I just think this might be one of those nights where the whole ground needs a little bit of a lift at the moment. It's very quiet in here.
Gargarov. Long from Karsten, awkward for Guy, and it came down for Cisse. Iliev calls on Maxic to come and help him out. Thiago Silva, Yurikov, Dimitrov spinning and allowed to run, with Zardi ahead of him and Gargarov ahead of him and Yurikov wide here. Doing Fинън stuff, importantly.
Can't quite get to grips with Dimitrov at the moment, the number 8, the Safaris. Very elusive. 1 minute he's in front of the midfield players, then he's just in that little hole behind them. Difficult to get hold of. Always on the move, he's playing well.
Thiago Silva. Of Slovakia, Bulgaria, Guy of Senegal, Yurikov, keep it in. Jamie Carragher has just been warming up. It looks an odd Liverpool back four without him. He's possibly going to be a prize winner in Monte Carlo back end of the week. Considered one of the top centre-halves of last year's Champions League, and there is a bench full of players who would ordinarily have started in the Liverpool 11. Cisse. Potъr. Sisoko, maybe worth a crack. Momo Sisoko! Dragged it.
Unlucky, never really hit it. Not his strongest side, better on his right foot. Potъr comes inside and just drops it off to Sisoko. He knows what he wants to do, but he just doesn't really hit it. Scuffs it a wee bit, drags it wide.
Finn went long. Done by Guy. Hidwell with the pirouette. He ran into Potър. And it was clattered by Todorov. So you're witnessing merely the opening exchanges here of a top-notch European football week on ITV. Tomorrow night, ITV 2. Everton attempt to turn around a 2-1 deficit away to Villarreal. I will recommend that to you. The first game was a belting watch. And on Friday night, back here on ITV1, Liverpool contesting the first European trophy of the season against UEFA Cup holders CSKA Moscow, the Super Cup from Monte Carlo, ITV1 on Friday night. Before which, on Thursday, you'll have been to our website, itv.co.uk/football, to follow the Champions League group stage draw, with or without Liverpool, Manchester United and or Everton, and certainly, of course, with Arsenal and Chelsea. Cissé's flick. Hosemi hit it long. Rийзе. Uornък. Morientes. Guided well.
It's a great ball in. That is exactly what any striker wants. That sort of delivery to go and attack. It was well defended.
Rийze. Away from Zabavnik. To Hidwell. Has got that. And it's delivered long by Iliev. Steve and Uornъk responsible for this delivery, which brought out the best in the centre-half guy.
Yeah, good early delivery, that's the key. As soon as he touched it out of his feet, Morientes can recognise that it's on its way in. It's going to be delivered.
Morientes. Oh, he wanted to slip it for Rийze. And he made a right pig's ear of the pass.
And that surprises me, because Morientes is so good at that. Always plays with his head up. You'd have expected him there to just slip that between the centre-half and the full-back, and Rийze would have been in on the goals. Good opportunity missed there.
Hidwell. Taken out long for Yurikov. Fинън watched it away. Hosemi, who started with assurance at centre-half, but doesn't want to be teasing Zardi, with things looking a shade twitchier than they were at 8 o'clock. There were 50 fans officially who travelled from Sofia for this game, in addition to which, though, many have travelled up from London today, from the Bulgarian community. So there is a following for CSKA. Travelled, I'm sure, more in hope than expectation. We have some hope to cling to here. Have played themselves into a little bit of a corner. There is Sisoko trying to fiddle them out of it.
Just wonder if those changes will be made at half-time, Peter.
Maybe Alonso hit a smashing free kick at the weekend against Sunderland.
Yep, absolutely. I'm sure Rafa Benitez would much rather have rested them, but need to be. Might well have to make a couple of changes just to liven it all, brighten it all up here tonight.
Sisoko, Cissé, Morientes offside.
Unlucky, good idea, good movement. Morientes, you can see, he's just a yard offside.
I think the referee's brought it back for that challenge.
Certainly has.
Cissé. It's interesting to talk about the potential for changes. Attending the Super Cup on Friday wouldn't be a lot of fun if they hadn't attended the Champions League draw on Thursday beforehand. And it oughtn't to happen, but the insurance of a goal from this set piece wouldn't half help. This is preparing his long run. Arne is adjacent to the ball. Sisoko's in the wall. Hüpia's alongside the wall. Morientes waiting to pounce, and Cisse on the edge of the box. And it's Rийзе to thump it.
Hits it well. Looked like it was always just sailing a little bit over the top. Decent strike, long way out, by the way. Got that lovely swerve on it that takes it away from the goalkeeper, but it was just a yard too high. It's a good strike again there. You see it coming at you in real speed. Doesn't hang about.
Started all 15 Champions League games last year, John Rийze. He's already missed one against Kaunas this year. He was actually the only man to play all 120 minutes of the final and take a penalty. This penalty, of course, was saved by Dida, which gladly for him can disappear into the history books and be forgotten about. Zardi. Dimitrov snapping in. And being caught by a retreating Potър. And in the last minute of the first half, then it said Dimitrov, their playmaker, grounded. Sofia have a set-piece opportunity to get the ball in the box.
Again, Guy and Iliev are on their way into the box. You can see them on the edge of the area now. They must be picked up this time. There's no point in getting all those red shirts back there if you're just going to stand and watch people. Go and tag a player and hang on to him.
How uplifting this could be for Jesic. Supposing he took a 2-goal lead into his half-time talk. Karsăn has talking and organising to do. The header from Hosemi bounced back off Dimitrov and out of harm's way. He's a good, watchable player, though, isn't he? Dimitrov,
yeah, he
uses the ball well.
Good little player, Peter. He links up well with Hidwa and Todorov. Of course, Gargarov as well there. Make nice little triangles there in the middle of the midfield.
There'll be minimum of 1 minute.
He did go to the European Championships with Bulgaria and Portugal in 2004. Goes so well for him there. Here's Rийze for Liverpool. Ended at Cisse, out by Guy. Possibly heard the public address there, which confirmed that we have just 1 minute to add on to the 45 here. What has been a broadly uninterrupted half, punctuated only by a shock Iliev goal, which has made things rather less comfortable than they ought to be for Liverpool. Rýze's corner, Hüpia failed to make contact altogether.
It's a chance. It's a good chance for Sami Hüpia again, like Iliev did for his goal. Sami Hüpia making a different kind of run, look towards the near post. You'd expect the big man to put his forehead on that and send that towards the goals. That is a very good opportunity.
Half-time, not as advertised. A goal from Valentin Iliev has driven Liverpool out of their comfort zone. Sofia have played with sophistication when on the ball, and Liverpool find themselves behind on the night by 1-0, but still ahead on aggregate, Matt, by 3 goals to 2.
Minutes, 55 seconds.
Thank you to Andy and Peter for the moment. A stroll this isn't to the group stage. Liverpool still lead on aggregate, but down on the night. The thoughts of Ali and Robbie when we come back. Andy Townsend and Peter Drury.
Yes, Matt, Andy, you want your say in this Owen debate, don't you? Is this just a media phenomenon, a fan phenomenon? When it comes down to it, it's the manager who buys the player.
Yeah. I just get the vibe that Rafa Benitez doesn't really want to, for whatever reason, doesn't really want to bring Michael Owen back here. I just get that sort of vibe. I really do. We hear him saying he's got five strikers, but none of them probably they wouldn't score the same amount of goals as Michael Owen put together, possibly. Just got the feeling that the manager himself, yes, he realises everybody wants to sign him, wants to bring him back. I just don't think he really wants to repeat himself.
Back in the moment, Liverpool are making a half-time change. Luis Garcia is coming on, and he is replacing Darren Potъr on the right side of Liverpool's midfield. A reinforcement, a little bit of class. Just take them up a rung in that position. And it's not a surprising one, Andy.
No, I think so. I think, Darren Potъr, he's only a young boy. It's not the sort of game where you want to have someone standing out on the wing, maybe waiting to get involved, waiting for something to happen. Garcia is experienced, he can do it at this level, and score goals as well. He likes to go and join him with the front two. and he'll give everyone a little bit of a lift in the ground when he gets the ball.
Did have a goal-scoring record last year, 13 in all, 3 in the Champions League. Most of them crossed the line. Here is Sisoko. And Fинън. Liverpool playing their 6th game of European football this season. On August the 23rd. Garcia, after his first touch, gets a first clobber from Guy.
He'll do this a lot, Luis Garcia, now. Obviously, naturally, he'll step inside, Peter, onto his left foot. We know he can hit them from distance, so a little bit more onus on John Arne Riise on the left side to get to the byline and deliver some crosses from Morientes and Sissoco.
It is another made for John Arne Riise free kick. Contemplated going short for Garcia. He has Harman square. He has Sissoco, Cisse, Hüpia and Morientes in the box. And he's hit the first man, who is Todorov. And then he's had a go. Riise! Oh! Not a bad save. It was a nastily swishing shot.
Fantastic strike from Riise, that is. The free kick was awful, the first one in, but when it came back to him, he just thought he's going to have a go at that. That is a brilliant effort.
Now Riise's delivery again, and again he's hit Todorov. Do you know, I reckon that might have been deliberate. He was teeing himself up.
Absolutely.
In his dreams. Exchange with Garcia. Riise deep, Morientes peeling off and grappling with Iliev. That's an upbeat start to the half for Liverpool in front of the Kop. That's important. They need to resettle their support.
Some strike, Pete, this was. As I say, the first delivery was poor, but that one, look, he has a little look where the goalkeeper is, leans away from it, therefore getting that lovely swerve on the ball. And Matic just having to tip it over.
It's worth a watch for young footballers learning to strike a football, the way he sliced his foot across the ball and imparted spin and swerve without losing anything in terms of pace. Haman. Fинън. Garcia. Haman. Hüpia. The ball for Riise, who's taken on and beaten Zabavnik, but not Iliev, who's been one of the outstanding performers on the night, and who's taken a clobbering from John Arne Riise, who just allowed the ball to get a little far away from him, and therefore had to stretch and make contact and hurt himself as well.
Yeah, it was a difficult one actually for Riise to control the ball out to him from Sami Hüpia, and he zips inside the fullback, and then they just collide. I mean, there's no real blame attached to Riise there at all. Iliev clears it and they just collide. I think he decides to take a tumble and maybe just buy his team a little bit of time just to reorganise themselves here.
Looks like Jesic's side had a 5-1 away win on Saturday in the Bulgarian league. They are now played 3-1-3 in their home division. They're still second because Levski Sofia, their great rivals, won 6-0 and had a superior goal difference. Iliev is a pivotal player for them, and they need him. It's his freest and most adept. He scored the goal, he's kept Liverpool out to this point, but Morientes has picked up Riise, who has a right boot as well.
It's a great play as well. Lovely layoff from Morientes. Riise, nice eye, look, spins immediately knowing that's going to go into Morientes. He hits it well enough, just doesn't find the target. That's a really well worked combination. Beautiful layoff from Morientes, right into Riise's path. Just pulls the shot a couple of yards wide. Better, nice lively start from Liverpool to this second half.
The impression they've been sent out to get a goal. For heaven's sake, let's put this one to bed. Yurikov teed up Iliev for the first half goal. Thiago Silva forward from left full back, aimed in beyond Zardi. Karsън stayed, and Uornъk considered discretion the better part of valour and nudged it behind for a corner.
Terrific cross from Thiago Silva down this left side, Peter. got a lot to do to dig that out from there, but he does it and he puts it right into the danger zone. Stephen Uornъk does exactly the right thing. If you're not sure, just knock it away.
Uornъk with the corner. Karsъn claimed, uncontested. With length that didn't really help Cisse, who was all alone.
Yeah.
Got Benitez off his seat.
A good catch though from the goalkeeper, but his kick just sliced it a wee bit. Cisse had actually run down the left side.
First half goal was only the 5th he's conceded in what is now 7 appearances for Liverpool. He's always impressed. Did so in a very high-profile game against Juventus last year, although some queried him in the wake of Fabio Cannavaro's goal in that quarter-final. But that aside, he's been pretty well blameless when he has appeared in the first team, and better than blameless very often. Iliev lofting it forward, Gargarov making life hard for Uornъk. Has got his throw in comically wrong. Actually, it's deemed a foul throw, which you'd probably prefer.
Thank you very much. That one.
And from our next trick. Took some rehearsal, that. Don't try that at home. Fинън, Sisoko, Garsia. Silva's pinned in and just lolloped forward. There's no way that was a foul. Garcia's twinkle toes took him nowhere. Sisoko. Nice drop of the shoulder. Now Cisse for Fинън. And Finnãn's ball in for Morientes. Well watched by Iliev. But it didn't quite sit down right for John Risa.
Yeah, good football that is though from Liverpool. They zipped it about nice and quick. Eventually finds itself coming out to Steve Fинъn. That's an excellent ball in the danger zone. John Risa maybe should have took a touch. He's tried to hit it. It's coming. It's on the up, coming towards him. A difficult ball to hit. Possibly one maybe to take on your chest. Just try and settle the ball down first. Unlucky. Good football though again. Now they started like this in the first half, then all of a sudden, bang, Sofia go and punish them. What they've got to do is keep concentrated at the back and ensure that doesn't happen again.
Got the cop back into good voice. Good vocal support. Here's Zabavnik. Todorov. Put out by Risa. Kept in by Harman. Nicked on for Morientes. Taken back by Zabavnik. A new surge from the Bulgarians, Dimitrov. Hidwa. Stolen back by Sisoko, but then presented to Guy, the centre-half. And now Silva, the Brazilian left full-back. Away from Sisoko. And fed in towards Zardi. And now Gargarov. And back for Dimitrov. That's a vital intervention from Uornъk.
It was, Peter, because he had Todorov on his outside, Dimitrov there. If he'd have just slipped it to his right-hand side.
Now by Sisoko. And a set-piece opportunity for CSKA.
We have a message for Peter Robson.
Only underline the point we made throughout the first half. When these guys have the football, they use it really well.
Technically they're good. When the ball arrives into those players in the middle of the park, they're able to deal with it one and two touch.
Karsъn concerned by Uornъk closest to the ball. 4 in the wall between ball and goal. And Hidwa is the likely striker, the Moroccan. It is Hidwa! Oh, it's very, very close.
That is close, by the way. It's a very, very good hit. His coach claps him, I'm sure he does. As Luis Garcia really, having closed it down, turns his back on it. I mean, he's the man there to charge the ball down. That's where you have to be brave. That you have to take that in the face wherever. Don't turn your back on it. That's a good strike. And Scott Karsøn might not have got that. That was just inside the post.
There's a player, Mura Hidua, who we're likely to see at the World Cup next year. Morocco are top of their qualifying group. With just a home game against Botswana and a trip to Tunisia left, Morocco will almost certainly make it, and he will make it with them. Yurakov's ball in, and Karsăn has judged it well enough. Rийze. Uornък. Haman. In for Morientes. Nicked on for Cisse. Back towards Morientes, and across comes Iliev. He's been impeccable. Thiago Silva out. Hidua. Tackle from Fidden on Yurakov. Garcia wants to profit. And settle for a throw. The touch. Liverpool, remember tonight, defending an unbeaten 13-game run in European competition under Benitez since an absolutely awful night in Monaco last November when they were beaten by a controversial goal to nil. 13 games unbeaten in European competition since then, and they have won 7 and drawn 1 of the last 8 European games at Anfield. Here is Rийze, and now Sisoko. Momo Sisoko flashed wide.
Better link-up play again, Rийze this time finding Sisoko. He's on his favoured foot this time, and he should really at least make the goalkeeper put his hands on that. He hits it well enough. He's comfortably wide. Good strike. All sitting up nicely. That's how you like to hit him.
Dimitrov. Up near by Hüpia. Liverpool haven't lost a European game at Anfield since this very stage of the competition last year when Graz came here and won 1-0. This is hauntingly similar. The one key difference is that night Graz needed 2 goals. Tonight CSKA need 3. And Liverpool are glad of that insurance. In went Silva. Well won though by Garcia, who exchanged with Sisoko and went early towards Cisse. Iliev again ideally stationed.
Because as soon as Garcia gets that, Cisse is already making that move and pointing. He wants the ball put in behind. That's where his strength is. That's what he's better at. But of course, it's difficult to find him sometimes from that sort of distance.
Gargarov. Zabavnik. Gargarov. Todorov. Iliev. Guy. Thiago Silva. Assurance on the ball. And then a searching ball from Thiago Silva. Uornъk got above Gargarov, and then Rийze scraped it away from him. And despite his upstretched hand, I think knew in his heart of hearts that was going to be a corner.
You can see there from those red shirts, Liverpool already, they zone it across the 6-yard box. Black shirts waiting on the edge of the area.
Yurakov going deep for, I think, what was meant to be an extravagant Hidua volley. But Liverpool had that red, and Hidua has to try and make an imprint on the box a different way. Sisoko comes out with it and is tripped. The offender. Missed one for a change, but a guy was there to dig him out. It's his first error of the evening, Valetin Iliev. He's done everything right in the vicinity of his own penalty area, and something very right inside Liverpool's. Liverpool playing their 6th game of European football this season. Last time they had the European Cup to defend, they didn't play their first until the 19th of September 1984. Their 6th game that season was the second leg of the quarter-final. For the record, the second leg of the quarter-final this year, if Liverpool get that far, will be their 16th game of the European season. That's how times have changed in the course of 2 decades. by the way, are one of 3 clubs who are left from the first qualifying round. The others are Anorthosis Famagusta, who ought to lose to Rangers tomorrow, and Artmedia Bratislava, who are in Belgrade tonight, having drawn the first leg 0-0.
Had their moments in the game, Liverpool, Peter, we know they have, but they've not really been able to sustain any pressure, get a real head of steam up, really ignite the crowd here tonight, and sort of raise the atmosphere. Every now and again someone produces something and you think, yeah, now they're getting it together, then it just sort of drifts away again.
Is what is headed. Rийze has a yard potentially out of which to dig across. Iliev closed down that yard, so Bavnik with the header out. Rийze outwitted. Gargarov surging, on by Yurikov. Taken up by Hidua, who has Zardi through the middle, and Yurikov wide one way and Gargarov the other. This is Yurikov. Aimed deep for Gargarov. Uornък watched it well.
It's a good opportunity that for Sofia there. Yurikov maybe, I think, should have looked to have got at Stevie Fинън there when he had him one-on-one instead of trying that big long diagonal ball.
By Uornъk, came to Todorov. Dimitrov. Licked back by Gargarov, but into the path of Luis Garcia. Cisse's done very well to keep that in play. And Harman's first to the loose ball. Morientes. Sisoko. Hamad. Morientes. Sisoko. Iliev got a foot on it. Todorov tried to turn, Morientes robbed him, referee saw it and called it back.
Yeah, good decision there. Certainly can see Sisoko, they're having a bit of a swipe at Todorov. Again, frustration, everything there. Because again, they got themselves nearly into a good situation where they could try and thread Cisse through.
Benches that we are shortly to see Bolo Zendен for Liverpool. Change upcoming, their second of the evening. Here's Garcia, who was the first substitute. Now Morientes rolled in for Cisse, who looked guiltily for a flag and sure enough saw one.
Yeah, he'd made the initial run there, that was the first ball that was cut out. You can see there he's definitely offside, but he didn't really want that one.
Substitution number 30, Bolo Zendен, replacing number 28.
On the left-hand side for Stephen Uornъk, with presumably John Arne Rийze dropping the left full-back. And he's played Champions League football for PSV and for Barcelona. Should Liverpool make it through, match day 1 would be his first Champions League game for 5 years. Zenden's first involvement is one that's done a little bit of harm to Todorov.
Just a tiny little clip really. Todorov hits the floor. It's been useful though when he's got the ball. He's a tidy little player, as his teammates in the middle of the park, and they're going forward with it. Still look a threat. Difficult scenario for Liverpool because they do still have a reasonable cushion, of course, but they're at home and they're expected to go forward, expected to make some progress in the game without wanting to risk too many unnecessary bodies going forward too often.
Well, the champions of Europe are now 25 minutes away from this year's group stages of the Champions League, and here is Zendен. And here is Morientes, and the pullback wasn't kind to him at all. Here though is Didi Hamann. He leant on his man and was lent upon, and Liverpool have the free kick. No outpouring of sympathy for the grounded CSKA player who is Zurikov.
Yeah.
It seemed as much damage done to him as there was to Hammam, perhaps more.
Yeah, I think just got one in the throat. This was first chance Zendon had really to get to that byline. You can see Morientes peeling off on the edge of the area now. It's a hard ball back to him. He just couldn't adjust his feet quick enough. A little bit better pace on it maybe from Bolo Zendon. Would have allowed Morientes to get a shot on target.
Well, it was an arguable award of a free kick for Liverpool. Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Rийze is readying himself to leather it again with that left hammer of his. Rийze, deflection, painfully close.
It certainly was close, because I think the deflection made the ball swerve. It was Todorov who come out to throw himself at it. The ball zips and loops almost in the far corner.
Zendon made himself available for the corner. And then Rийze played it in, and Hüpia nudged it down, and Garcia hit it over. And 3/4 of the game has gone.
Yeah, we know he can hit him, but obviously Todorov coming out from the wall there. Look, once that dips and then starts looping around, Matsic is scrambling, because he knows that is bending back in towards the goals.
Does look a calm defender.
Not sure if that was a little bit fortunate, that one, Peter. He has played well.
Hidwa, Dimitrov, Todorov, Dimitrov.
That's good play.
Zabavnik, Gargorov, Hidwa. Despite the scoreline, there was no way that Liverpool strolled the first leg of this tie. And there's no way that they're strolling this game either. Sisoko. On him by Zurikov, not the first of the night. Those two have become pretty well acquainted. Hüpia. Away from Morientes by Zabavnik. Takes a goal from Liverpool and the game's up. Only takes a goal from CSKA Sofia, and we have 20 panicky minutes ahead of us.
Yeah, just wonder if Jesic may be thinking about making a change, whilst we know his team look very comfortable in possession. They haven't had quite the cutting edge that they had in the first half so far, and obviously they need goals, so they may now have to throw caution to the wind a little bit. May give Liverpool a chance to exploit at the back.
Best known striker on their bench is Stoyko Sakaliev. I think it may be he who's coming on. Here's Luis Garcia to try and put the game to bed. Garcia. That's a comfortable take for the keeper.
Good hands, goalkeeper again. He's been nice and solid tonight. Steps inside. Good run from Steve Finn on the overlap. Just takes Silva the other way, allowing Garcia to step inside and have a shot. Comfortably saved.
Dimitrov. Guy. I wonder whether Sofia really believe this is on. If they believe it's on, then now is their moment.
Yeah, well, they've got to make changes. They've really got to now start to make it happen. They've got to go after the game. Despite Liverpool disappointed of being a goal down, obviously the clock now starts to work in their favour. The opposition have to come and get the ball a little bit, as you can see now. Liverpool a little bit more patient with the ball, keeping it, make them chase it a little bit more. Don't have to always go forward like this. Can keep it, keep knocking it around across the back. Bring them out a little bit.
Whether they said it beforehand or not, it's not a bad game plan. Get an early goal and make sure you're still in it with 20 minutes to go.
Sure. We'd have settled for that, yes, it's no question.
Penetration from Liverpool, and they should be out of it, and Garcia has played in Morientes here, and Morientes has got between them, and the keeper's down, and he still can't score. Hidwa on the line, and Guy to safety. The Moroccan has kept the Bulgarians in the tie.
And Morientes does well. He gets a little bit fortunate here, because between Silva and Iliev they mess it up, but he takes shows a lot of composure, just can't finish it off. It's one of them, Peter, that you're thinking, hit it now, hit it. Then when he shows the composure, that's great skill, but he's got to finish it. He's got to put it in.
And while you've been watching that, the Sofia change has occurred. Jordan Yurikov, who had a hand in the making of the Sofia goal, has gone off, and Sakaliev, who has a reputation as a scorer of spectacular goals, is on in place of him. Any sort of goal for Sofia would be spectacular, or deemed so in these circumstances.
Well, Fernando Morientes there really had a chance to nullify that substitution completely, because if that would have gone in, that would have given Sofia far too much to do.
Morientes would have hoped to be sitting more comfortably than he is by this stage of this evening. Finnan's cross, up goes Morientes again, but he was always leaning back. They're struggling therefore to get any forward momentum on the header.
Yeah, tough one. It's a good leap, gets above Iliev there, just can't get enough power behind it, as you say, Peter, just going backwards a little bit. By Sakaliev, a newly introduced striker who does have 3 international caps for Bulgaria. Sisoko against the referee. Seems rather harsh justice that his eagerness to make up for the referee's mistake should cost them a free kick, but so it did. Sakaliev shaken off it by Hüpia, and then Todorov wide for Gargarov. And Gargarov early for Sakaliev, who's offside. Sisoko. Haman. Zendon with Rийзе going beyond him. And here is John Arne Rийze. Well, was the man stationed at the near post. Haman. Sisoko. Dabbed in for Morientes, notched on towards Garcia and seen away by Iliev. Very tight in there for Sisoko to try and thread something through, because Garcia obviously doesn't want to stay out too wide. He tends to drift inside, does narrow it all down a lot.
Last quarter of an hour, Liverpool nearly there. A goal now would tip them over the line surely. Garcia's cross, well watched and well taken by Maksic. Very nearly left the club at the start of the year.
Yep, decent ball in from Luis Garcia, just doesn't get the whip on it to drag it away from the goalkeeper. As I said earlier, has handled everything pretty much aimed at him tonight. Peter, who's been very solid.
Dimitrov, Sakaliev. Aimed at Gargarov, well pushing back by Stevie Fинън. It's not a place to make a mistake, nor did he. Sisoko, taken off it by Gargarov. Sakheliev, Dimitrov. And then Hosemi stole it back. Zenden. Too early really for Cisse. Guy got there first. Cisse kept battling. Came Todorov.
John Onorisa gives the ball to Bolo Zendon there, makes a 40-yard run to go on the overlap. And Zendon totally ignores him and ends up losing possession by knocking it inside. Had a good opportunity there to have a 2-on-1 situation against the fullback.
Garcia, Fidden. Sisoko helped over by a guy, and a free kick has been given Liverpool's way.
Well, he shrugs his shoulders, the big man, but he did go flying into Sisoko a bit clumsily there. He was obviously trying to see it out. He gives Sisoko a little bit of a whack, a little bit too heavy-handed with that one.
It's Garcia's job to discomfort Maxic. Another little Spanish inventor from set pieces. Sisoko on the goalkeeper's toes. Hüpia behind him. Cisse penalty spot. Garcia with whip.
We have a message from Matthew Fortune of Portslade in Brighton to
good
contact
fast
the
ball whipped in, but no one
please.
really running across
Matthew
the front of that.
Fortune
the goalkeeper's line of vision there. The ball ends up sailing out harm's way.
Nearest steward.
Just a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. Sami Hüpia never really able to get across it in time.
Fidden away. Only to Sakheliev. He's got neatly clear of Sisoko. Sakheliev's cross. Steered out by Risa. Hidwa. Taken away by Zendon. Lovely touch from Cisse. Morientes with space, and Zendon through the middle, and Garcia calling for it. He's gone back to Cisse. And there are lots of Bulgarian bodies back now. But here is Garcia with a yard or two himself. He couldn't get round Silva. He's got it back from Silva. And then he tried something over elaborate. And Guy cleared untidily. Sisoko. Still got a bit frantic.
Steve Finnan's waiting for the ball there from Garcia. All he had to do was just roll it out to him. Steve Finnan can deliver something in the box.
Risa. Sisoko. Risa. Fidden. Oh, it's a lovely take from Sisoko. But neither he nor Garcia snapped onto the ball when it ran loose.
It's unlucky. Beautifully clipped ball in from Steve Finnan that Sisoko takes very well. That's great skill. Completely sells Iliev a dummy. Just doesn't fall kind enough for him, and Guy clears it well in the end.
Garcia in front of a patient cop. Up by Hidwa, back in by Zendon. Instinctive left-footed snap at it from the Dutchman.
Yeah, decided to hit it first time. Again, lots of room around there to maybe take a touch to settle the ball down first.
Well, it's the way we like it. Lots of good football on ITV this week. Once we're done tonight, it's Everton tomorrow on ITV2. Big ask for the Toffees, but not beyond them. And then on Friday here on ITV1 from Monaco, Liverpool against CSKA Moscow for the European Super Cup. Read all about it on our website. And on that website, itv.com/football, you can follow the Champions League draw on Thursday afternoon. Hamad. Risa. Running around Todorov. Not around Iliev, no one's got around him.
Good positive run though from John Onorisa. Better Liverpool in the second half. Haven't really created too many wonderful opportunities, but nonetheless they've controlled the game better, I think, in this 45 minutes.
Both the previous meetings between these clubs in the European football have been pretty momentous. The 1981 quarter-final The victory over reigning champions Nottingham Forest still fresh in the memory. CSKA were thumped 5-1 at Anfield. Graham Souness scored a hat-trick. But Sofia took their revenge the next year, knocking out the reigning champions Liverpool, having lost to a Ronnie Whelan goal here at Anfield. Sisoko, Morientes, Haman, Zenden, in for Sisoko. Neither he nor Morientes wanted to take responsibility. It's rolled out for Zardi, taken back by Hüpia. Spooned in by Risa, out by Todorov, Zenden. Got a corner, and there is a real eagerness about Liverpool just to get this done.
Yeah.
They want to draw a line under it, put their signature there and say thank you. We want to be in the draw, but it's still unfinished business. By Garcia, up by Hidua, taken up by Sakaliev, Gargorov, Hosemi strolls out, Fинън against Thiago Silva, on by Gargorov, and Hosemi plays for touch. Danger for some note for Liverpool. Gibril Cisse, no goal for him tonight, albeit that he was allowed to play as a centre forward. And in place of him, a meaningful moment for Florent Cinema Pongol, who hasn't kicked a first-team football since January, when he hurt his cruciate ligament, apparently innocuously, in a League Cup semi-final game at Vicarage Road, Watford. He's looked sharpish in the reserves, I'm told, and now he's ready for a return. One of those 5 or 6 strikers of whom Rafa Benitez keeps speaking. One of the reasons why he doesn't need Michael Owen, does he? Benitez and Liverpool looking to become the first club since Milan 15 years ago to successfully defend the European Cup. This club did it themselves 27 years ago. Here is Pongol, just wanting to be part of it. Zendon optimistically down the line for Risa. Clearance came to Didi Hamann, who can hammer them from here. But he didn't hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, that's the sort of range Didi Hamann likes to... You know what's coming here. You know he likes to pull the trigger from that sort of distance. We've seen him do it before. So he does hammer it, Peter, but well wide on this occasion. He and Sisoko better in the second half. They coped with that Sofian midfield a lot easier in the second 45 minutes. Got around them much better. Broke their play up. Hidwa not so prominent. Gargorov just in and out the game a little bit.
Another substitution for CSKA.
As he did in the first leg. Petar Dimitrov is coming on for the last 6 or 7 minutes in place of Guillaume Darzadi. Just an alternative striking option. She was quite a high impact substitute in Sofia. The other Dimitrov, Petar. There's relatively little time to make a difference here. Hosemi. Hidwa. $42,175 inside Anfield tonight. They came to bury Sofia. They'll probably go home praising them because the visitors from Bulgaria have made it more of a contest than had been anticipated. It's late to bed. The younger element perhaps haven't got what they wanted from their end of summer holiday treat. Haman.
I think they know their football here, Peter, as well, and they'll be anxious in the fact that You know, when those key individuals, the Gerrards, Alonsos, when they're not playing, at times this team looks a little bit ordinary. They'll be desperate for him to go and play Michael Owen. Absolutely desperate for it.
But heading into the last 4 minutes, and I hope I'm not made to look a chump here, I think it is safe to say that Liverpool are preparing to take their place in Thursday's draw for the Champions League, where they will be joined by most of the regulars, 2 each from Spain, Real Madrid and Barca from England, Chelsea and Arsenal from Italy, Juventus and Milan, Bayern and Schalke from Germany, Lille and Gérard Houllier, of course, together with Lille from France, Benfica and Porto. Add to those almost certainly Liverpool here and Manchester United, Internazionale, possibly a couple of the coming Spanish clubs, Real Betis and Everton permitting Villarreal. And then Rangers and a sprinkling of the slightly less stellar dark horses. And it is the usual captivating mix, Champions League football 2005-06. And the champions now ought to be part of it. So who holds up the trophy in Paris next May? Andy, who would you pick out of those 16-20 clubs I've mentioned?
Good question. Well, I'd like to think any of our teams can get there, any of our top 4 teams. Certainly Liverpool, if they get going again, will be confident, but Arsenal, Chelsea and United certainly have the capability to go a long way in the competition.
Just looking on one of the bookies' websites the other day, it had Chelsea at 5-1 favourites, Barca 7-1, Milan 8-1, Madrid 9-1, Juve 10-1.
10-1, nice, good value for Juventus.
Manchester United 12s, Arsenal 14s, and then Bayern, Inter, Liverpool. Everton, I'm afraid, were well into 3 figures. But they spent the whole of last season making people look silly, so good luck to them tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Dimitrov. Liverpool's throw. Business nearly done.
For an hour they looked a handful, Sofia. They've just run out of gas a little bit towards the back of this game.
Well, their coach yesterday, perhaps it was a slip of a tongue, but when he was talking to a pretty empty press conference, he was already talking about Friday's draw. That is the draw for the UEFA Cup, as opposed to Thursday's. And I would think that he and they and the supporters back in Bulgaria would derive a great deal of pride from what they've achieved here. First European team to win at Anfield since Graz did in the second leg of the 3rd round of qualifying last year. Liverpool about to let go a 13-match unbeaten sequence in Europe, and the 50 who got on a plane and the many who got on a train from London will feel that he has done well for them.
That's the disappointing part on the night. Losing the game, Peter. Going through in the tie, of course, is the most important thing. Of course it is, but just losing, as you say, it's hard to get on a winning run, and when you're on one like that, it's nice to just keep that momentum going. You lose games of this nature, they do annoy you a little bit.
Pongol. All from him would light up the evening. It's not to be this time. Gargarov. Dimitrov. Hidwa. In by Dimitrov. Sakaliev competed for it. Hosemi kept him at bay so that Karsăn could come and gather. It's been quite a soap opera, this whole qualifying process. Here's Sisoko for Liverpool. He's gone away from Guy. It's Momo Sisoko against the frame. Might have been the moment to decorate the night.
Minimum 2 minutes added time. 2 minutes.
2 minutes to add on to the 90. A man won it back only temporarily. Here's Sakaliev, looking for a prize to take home with him. And he's turned it wide dangerously. It's played in for Dimitrov, who's offside.
That's a good win, by the way.
Nice that he saw the funny side. It wouldn't have been funny for Liverpool if the flag hadn't gone up.
What a minute that was. Sissoko's so unlucky. And then within a flash, they're down there. He's well offside. I mean, he's mile offside. But Sisoko brilliant. He had Morientes. He could have slipped him in. Decided to go on his own. And he's very, very unlucky because he hits that ever so well.
Time to ponder on the whole story. Think back to Istanbul in the game that Liverpool should have lost, and then thrillingly, somehow, by hook or by crook, they won it on penalties. And that was really only the start of weeks of diplomacy and debate. The Football Association, UEFA, Liverpool, Everton, to qualify, not to qualify. It has been quite an effort for Liverpool to get this far, but it is on the verge now of all being worth it. Mохамед. Morientes against Dimitrov. Last 20 seconds. And there you go, the 30 war is over. The last preliminary battle actually was lost, but the champions have proved themselves sufficiently heavyweight to mix it again in the real thing, despite a first half goal from that man Valentin Iliev. Liverpool in the pot for first round qualifying a month and a half ago, after he had picked up the trophy, are in the pot of first seeds for Thursday's draw, and one of the more protracted and odd episodes in Champions League history is at an end. Liverpool's unbeaten run in European football is also at an end, but they go through, Matt, by 3-2 on aggregate.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Andy. Not an advert, perhaps, for Liverpool's strength in depth here this evening. Beaten on the night, but as Peter says, the most important thing is they are through to the group stage and Thursday's draw. Reaction from Robbie, Andy and Ali, and of course from downstairs when we come back.